my advice to Crawford is like maintain the speed, improve the speed, and improve the strength. Because it's hard to go up in high weight and maintain your speed. So speed is the key. Like he should focus on speed, footwork, and improve.
You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terrence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
Don't get me wrong, he does have a lot of power. But all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is nice.
The boxing world stands still when legends collide, and this potential showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford is no exception. One, a Mexican powerhouse with granite fists and a legacy forged in wars with the best of the best. The other, an American technician, feared for his IQ, speed, and ruthless finishing instincts. This isn't just a clash of styles. It's a collision of eras, weight classes, and belief systems. Many see Canelo's size and experience as his ticket to victory. Others argue that Crawford's slickness and strategic depth are exactly what's needed to shock the world. Let's dive into what the legends and analysts are saying and see why Canelo needs to bring his absolute A game, because Crawford is no joke.
Canelo Crawford, good fight. Good fight. Canelo has advantage because Crawford moving up.
Manny Pacquiao kicks off the conversation with a short but sharp insight. This is a good fight, but one where Canelo holds a natural advantage due to Crawford moving up in weight. That's a critical observation from someone who's done exactly that multiple times in his own career. The weight difference isn't just about pounds on the scale. It's about power retention, punch resistance, and ability to control range. Pacquiao hints at something many forget. Weight classes exist for a reason. While Crawford's skill set is elite, Pacquiao reminds us that even the most skilled fighters feel the impact of size, especially when it comes with the power and physicality Canelo brings. Crawford might be the more complete boxer, but can his body absorb the pressure for 12 full rounds? Manny's concern is valid. If Canelo leverages his natural frame properly, targeting the body early, leaning on Crawford in the clinch, and dictating pace with physicality, the Nebraska native may find himself fighting uphill from the start.
My advice to Crawford is like maintain the speed, improve the speed, and improve the strength. Because it's hard to go up in high weight and maintain your speed. So speed is the key. Like he should focus on speed, footwork, and improve.
Manny goes deeper in his next point, advising Crawford to not just maintain his speed, but to improve it. That may seem odd to ask of a fighter known for his lightning-fast hands, but Pacquiao knows better than most what happens when a fighter climbs up the weight ladder. Speed, especially foot speed and sharp combos, tends to dull under heavier frames. And against a bull like Canelo, every millisecond counts. Pacquiao emphasizes that power will need a boost too, suggesting that Crawford's punches, while crisp, may not initially gain Canelo's respect. Without some sting, Canelo could walk through Crawford's offense and impose his will. That's why Manny stresses both elements. Be quicker and stronger. It's not about knocking Canelo out. It's about earning his respect early, so that Crawford can control the rhythm and tempo. If he doesn't, Canelo might just turn the ring into his personal hunting ground, and no amount of slick movement will keep Bud safe.
Terrence got to be Terrence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends.
Antonio Tarver brings a cerebral twist to the conversation, noting that Crawford is one of the most intelligent fighters in the game. According to Tarver, Crawford isn't just preparing physically, he's mentally processed his fight multiple times. That type of preparation is rare, even among champions. Tarver sees Crawford as a chess master already visualizing the board 5 moves ahead. That matters. In a high-stakes fight like this, adaptability and composure are everything. Crawford's mental edge may neutralize some of the size disadvantage. He's seen this fight play out in his head already, how Canelo pressures, how he counters, what happens when he's cornered, and where he can pivot out. Tarver essentially says Crawford is not coming into this fight to figure out on the fly. He's arriving with a battle map sharpened by repetition. That alone might be the edge he needs to shock the world.
You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time.
In his follow-up, Tarver zeroes in on Crawford's movement, calling it elite, visual, and intentional. He observes how Crawford shadow boxes with Canelo already in his mind, anticipating the angles and responses. That's huge. Tarver also draws attention to something that's not talked about enough. The kind of opponent Canelo hasn't faced in a while. A master boxer. Someone who isn't there to trade or tire, but to touch, turn, and disappear. This isn't GGG, Plant, or Bivol. This is Bud. If Canelo doesn't adjust early to this fluidity and lateral movement, he may find himself frustrated, outboxed, and chasing shadows. Tarver makes it clear. The slickness, the anticipation, the ability to visualize scenarios before they even unfold. That's what separates Crawford. And Canelo, for all his greatness, hasn't dealt with that level of cerebral speed in quite some time. If he's not ready for it now, the fight might slip away before the championship rounds even begin.
You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terrence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
Tarver's third point is the most profound. It's not the weight. It's the skill set that will determine the winner. He urges Canelo to look back at his performance against Caleb Plant. That's the version of Canelo who could possibly beat Crawford. Active, mobile, sharp with his counters, and smooth with his pressure. Anything less than that, and Crawford might outpoint him all night. Tarver's challenge to Canelo is this: elevate. Don't depend on being the bigger guy, because Crawford isn't banking on size. He's banking on precision, timing, and mastery. This statement reframes the entire fight. It's not about who hits harder. It's not about who's taller or thicker. It's about who can execute their game plan better under the spotlight. If Canelo underestimates Crawford's adaptability, this fight might become a chess match where brute strength just doesn't matter.
Even though we could see Canelo Alvarez diminishing, we're still going to favor him because he's been in there with the bigger, stronger men. Crawford's not going to be able to hurt him.
Sergio Moore brings a realistic perspective to this showdown, emphasizing that despite signs of decline in Canelo Alvarez's performance, many still favor him because of his experience with stronger, bigger men. Moore hints at the idea that Crawford, although a supreme technician, might not possess the raw punching power to truly hurt Canelo. Yet, this sets up a fascinating dynamic. It's not about hurting Canelo with one blow. It's about outmaneuvering him. Sergio suggests that Crawford will pepper Canelo, hit him consistently with sharp, accurate combinations, and move before Canelo can react. This image implies a strategy of speed and angles versus brute force. Crawford's plan isn't to bulldoze Canelo. It's to slice him apart, piece by piece, over rounds. And this calls into question how Canelo will adapt to a fighter who fights like water, fluid, fast, and hard to catch. Sergio's take underscores what many believe will be Crawford's key advantage: his ability to maintain distance, make Canelo miss, and score consistently with clean shots.
Win rounds. Like I tell you, I have an image of Canelo Alvarez after the fight. He's going to be bloodied and bruised because he's going to get pot shotted. He's going to throw 2-3 punches, pepper him up, and then get an angle. Then once Canelo starts realizing I'm falling behind here or I'm getting hit too much, I got to do something great. That's when Crawford's going to have to get on his bite.
Sergio expands on a prediction, painting a vivid picture of how the fight might unfold. He envisions Canelo walking out of the ring battered and bruised, the result of being pot shot repeatedly by Crawford. This isn't just speculation. It's rooted in how Crawford has handled bigger fighters before. Sergio breaks down Crawford's likely fight plan: quick combinations, angles, constant movement. He'll never be a stationary target, and that frustrates a puncher like Canelo. Sergio notes the turning point: when Canelo realizes he's behind on points or can't land clean. That's the moment pressure mounts, and Canelo will need to deliver something spectacular. But that's also when Crawford's intelligence shines. Sergio hints that Crawford will get on his bike, boxing parlance for strategic movement, and that's when Canelo might begin to chase shadows. This section highlights the mental chess match. Crawford won't give Canelo the stationary war. He'll make a cerebral, high-speed puzzle.
I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Crawford, confident and calm, states plainly that he holds the speed and reach advantages over Canelo. While he acknowledges Canelo's size and power, Crawford believes his superior boxing skills are the real differentiator. It's a classic matchup the technician action versus a tank. Crawford is a fighter who thrives on using timing and angles, and with more reach, he can dictate the distance. Speed, meanwhile, will be critical in beating Canelo to the punch. Crawford's statement reveals his tactical mindset. Control the range, keep the pace fast, and outmaneuver the slower, heavier Canelo. It's not about knocking Canelo out. It's about winning rounds, breaking rhythm, and being untouchable. This section highlights Crawford's self-awareness. He's not underestimating Canelo's strengths. He's just firmly grounded in his own. It's an elite-level fighter recognizing what he brings to the table and how it stacks up against one of boxing's biggest names.
Don't get me wrong, he does have a lot of power. But all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is nice.
In a sharp clarification, Crawford acknowledges Canelo's power, but immediately separates himself from Canelo's past opponents. His tone is respectful yet confident, saying, "All those guys are not as skillful as me." This is a bravado. It's a statement of fact from a fighter who's seen and solved countless styles. He's pointing out that strength alone doesn't win fights against someone with his ring IQ. Crawford understands that Canelo's previous victories over power punchers don't necessarily prepare him for someone like him, a fighter with layers of skill, timing, and adaptability. He implies that Canelo is in for something different this time. Someone who won't be there to trade, but to dissect. This is where Crawford separates himself not just in ability, but in identity. He's not a brawler. He's not a conventional welterweight. He's a master craftsman stepping into a bigger frame, aiming to outthink and outbox one of boxing's biggest stars.
A fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always had respect for Canelo, but I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fueled me even more. Try to get the fight even more. And I'm watching him, I'm like, man, I can beat this dude. I've been fighting people bigger than me all my life, and I always came out on top. You gonna get hit. It's a fight. He gonna get hit too.
Crawford's final reflections round out the build-up perfectly. He respects Canelo, calling him a great fighter, but emphasizes how doubters have only fueled his fire. His mindset is rooted in belief, not arrogance. Crawford talks about watching Canelo, analyzing him, and concluding, "I can beat this dude." He recalls a career spent fighting bigger opponents, and always coming out on top. That's key. He's been here before, undersized but undeterred. The real takeaway is his mental toughness. Crawford isn't walking into this fight blind. He knows it'll be tough. He knows he'll get hit, but he also knows he'll land too, and that's the exchange he prepared for. This insight sets the tone. Crawford isn't just chasing greatness. He's methodically planning to take it. It's not just a size versus skill debate anymore. It's a legacy-defining moment for both men, but especially for Crawford, who's determined to prove he's not only daring to be great, he is great. In a fight where size, power, and legacy collide, the battle between Canelo and Crawford promises more than just fireworks. It's a clash of two boxing minds, two elite warriors with everything on the line. While Canelo might bring the weight and strength, Crawford walks in with the speed, the skill, and the belief that no one, not even Canelo, has what it takes to outbox him. As the experts have weighed in, one thing certain: Crawford isn't just a smaller man moving up. He's a complete fighter, sharpened by years of dominating across divisions. Canelo better bring his A game, because Crawford's coming with calculated fire. If you're hyped for this historic showdown and want more elite boxing breakdowns, subscribe to Box Hub, your #1 hub for everything boxing.